So we started on the board, and then the computer was delivered, and so we're going to start with the very first way that we can use to solve a quadratic equation. Now the thing about this method is that it doesn't always work. So above this, please write factoring. This is example number 1. I believe that, in my opinion, factoring is the easiest method to use as long as the equation is factorable. Not every quadratic equation is factorable. So let's get started. So the very first thing we're going to do is I always like to have this leading coefficient to be positive. So I want to move everything to the same side. This is my A, my B, and this is my C. When it moves over, it was positive. When it moves across, the equal sign, it becomes negative. So I have 6x squared minus 11x minus 7 equals 0. This is my A, my B, and my C. Now I could also use quadratic formula, and we'll go over how to do that when we go over in our second of 3 parts of this lesson. So let's get started with factoring. There's multiple different ways. There's the brute force way, also known probably as the McFarland method. If you received help from student tutors, they may teach you that method. There's the bottoms up method, or you can do the AC plus B method. 6 times negative 7. 6 times negative 7 is negative 42. I'm looking, if this is factorable, I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiply to give me negative 42 and combine to give me a negative 11. Now this tells me the 2 different numbers are going to be different signs. So I'm already going to make one positive and one negative. Already tells me that the larger the 2 numbers has to be negative. So let's get started. Now, if you don't have great multiplication skills, it may help you just to take 41 and divide it by 1. 1 and 42 does not give me 11. Divide it by 2. 2 and 21 doesn't give me 11. Divide it by 3. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Divide it by 3. 3 and 14 does give me 11. Again, the larger the 2 numbers is going to be negative. So 14 is negative and 3 is positive. Now, I'm going to show the AC plus B method. Because last year the majority of students preferred that, you are welcome to use other methods of factoring. 6x squared, leave a space, minus 7 equals 0. I'm going to drop this in plus 3, drop this in minus 14. Whatever is behind the B is the variable that I will drop behind the positive 3 and the negative 14. All right, here we go. Now it's just factoring by grouping here. So I'm looking at these 2. I can factor out at most a 3x. And I'm left with 2x plus 1. Let's just make sure. This is 6x squared. This is 3x. I'm going to take whatever's here and I'm going to copy and paste it in back and ask myself, what times 2x is a negative 14x? That'd be a negative 7. Let's make sure I'm not making a mistake. This is negative 14x and this is negative 7. Now there's a front and a back half. They both contain a 2x plus 1. In front of the first part is a 3x. In front of the second part is a negative 7. Yesterday we practiced factoring. Today we're practicing solving. We are solving quadratic equations. So at this point, if this mathematical statement is true, one of 2 things is true. Either the left portion equals 0 or the right portion equals 0, or maybe both. Like if I tell you x times y equals 0, either x equals 0 because 0 times any value is 0, or maybe y equals 0. Again, 0 times any value would be equal to 0, or maybe they both are 0. So in order for us to solve, we set them equal to 0, and I'm quickly going to do the basic algebraic steps here. 2x equals negative 1 divided by 2 divided by 2, x equals negative 1/2. I add 7 to both sides. Divide by 3, divide by 3. What does this mean? Well, there's a couple different things. One, it means that if I take either one of these values, I come up to this original mathematical statement, and I plug in negative 1/2 where I see an x, the left side will equal the right side. Or if I plug in a positive 7/3, the left side will equal the right side. It also tells me that this U shape that's created by this quadratic equation, when it's graphed on a Cartesian plane, it will cross the x-axis at negative 1/2 and positive 7/3. It's making some shape similar to this. Before you start in Teams, and I'm going to send a tutor to you and they'll have a calculator in your hand, here's my advice. You always want to rewrite this when possible to make sure the a, the value in front of the x squared, is not negative. It just makes it a lot easier. So what I want to do is, it's negative right now on the left-hand side. I want to move it to the other side. When it moves across the equal sign, I have to add it. So I'm going to add it to the right-hand side. Now, when the positive 31x joins it, it's going to become a negative 31, and I already have a positive 20. Once I've set this equal to 0, I can get started. All right, I'm going to press pause on the video. I'm going to let you get started. You're working as a team, and I'm going to assign a tutor. So as students work through this, I'm going to get started off to the side. I'm going to take 12 times 20. So on my calculator, I'm taking 12 times 20, and I end up with a positive 240. I'm going to try to find two numbers that multiply to equal this and combine to give this number. All right, let's get started. All right, so I am taking, and this should be 240, sorry. That should be 240, oh, sorry, should be 20 at the very end. Okay, so here we go. Let's take 240 divided by 1. Obviously 1 and 40 does not give me this. Divided by 2, difference is not that. This tells me they're going to be the same sign, and they both have to be negative to get that. Divided by 3, 3 and 80 doesn't work. Divided by 4, 4 and 60 doesn't work. Divided by 5, 5 and 48 doesn't work. Divided by 6. Okay, I'm getting closer. I'm getting a little bit closer. Divided by 7, not. Divided by 8. Okay, 8 and 30, no. Divided by 9 does not work. Divided by 10. Okay, I'm getting closer here. Divided by 11, nope, doesn't work. Divided by 12. Okay, so here I'd be at 32. Does not work. Does not work. Oh, okay, so these two could combine to give me a negative 31 and multiply to give me a 240. So negative 15 and 16. And the order you write these down in does not matter. That means you could put the 15 first or the 16 first. All right, go talk to your counselor. Okay, out of both of these, what can I factor out? I can factor out at most a 4. And I'm going to put this up so anybody that's struggling can see. I can factor out at most a 4 and an x, and I'd be left with 3x minus 4. Let's make sure I didn't make any mistakes. 12x squared minus 16x. I'm going to rewrite this. What times 3x gives me a negative 15x, a negative 5? Multiplies and multiplies. Now we have a front and a back. They both contain 3x minus 4. And the front half, in front of the first parentheses, of 4x. In front of the second parentheses is a minus 5. I'm going to set each one of these factors equal to 0, and I'm going to solve. Okay, I'm going to add 4 to the opposite side. 3x equals 4, divided by 3, divided by 3, x equals 4/3. Add 5, add 5. 4x equals 5, divided by 4, divided by 4, x equals 5/4.